The world's been going crazy over the real life Martha, and she is threatening to sue Netflix, with many of us saying, please do it. Well, I brought in our lawyer, Raees, to go through and see, does she actually have a chance? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. So happy to have my beard lawyer back. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's up, Andy? I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm so glad you could make time from, look how beautiful it is where you're at, but thank you for making time here, zooming in. I bugged you last minute because I wanted to get your thoughts on this big baby reindeer case and what's been happening. And this is very relevant to a lot of the work you do with online defamation and things over at your law firm, which, guys, make sure you follow him over. He really is the beard lawyer. I've not yet seen a better lawyer with a better beard. It's him. You win, Raees. But you can follow him over there and on YouTube as well. And he's been helping with my case against Netflix, and well, really more Channel 4, the production companies, the whole, kit caboodle of over there, and we're still working. I can't talk about that, but interesting that now Netflix is getting threatened with another lawsuit from this Fiona character, who is arguing that she's the real life inspiration of the Netflix hit show Baby Reindeer. Now, in the show, she looks like a crazy stalker, really dangerous, deranged, angry, flips out, assaults somebody. It's not a good impression of this woman. Yet at no point do they actually say her name or say that this is who it is. They use a different name. However, they do mention things in the show that are pretty much in her. Look, she was easy to find because a lot of the quotes from the show were actually found on Twitter ages ago when you go and search for it. There's a whole joke about she needs her curtains hung, and that's how people found it. She posted this in 2014 to Richard Gadd, the creator and star of the series, which allowed internet sleuths to find it. So that's my first question, Raees. Before we get into the thoughts on Martha and Fiona herself, like, was this a bad move on Netflix's part to allow? They say they've done a good job, trying to make sure that this can't happen. However, by allowing these tweets and having the language out there easy for internet sleuths to find it, was that a mistake on their part?
I mean, look, if this is going to be a legal issue, the question is going to be reasonable care. I mean, there's different standards in England, assuming this lawsuit happens in England than America, but roughly the same. Were they reasonable and prudent if they're trying to protect the identity of somebody who is claiming that they were a victim or trying to avoid harassment? And the answer is that doesn't, I think they did. Doesn't require them to scrub the entire internet of every possible search term, every possible, tweet in history, or go back on Wayback Machine and make sure that somebody can't be identified. I mean, that's a little overboard, in my opinion. So, particularly in combination with the Fiona Harvey account, right? I mean, after the fact, after the movie comes out, people are hunting for it and they find stuff. I mean, internet's full of sleuths. What can I say? I think they did their part.
Yeah, I mean, they specifically even said we took every reasonable precaution in disguising real life identities. I mean, at the end of the day, they're claiming this is based on a true story. Richard Gadd, the creator, writer of the show and actor of the show, claims to have the emails, the voice messages. I would imagine he's not going to claim that, and Netflix isn't going to attempt to make sure, at least Netflix's legal department must have checked those out, you would think, right, to confirm that this is all accurate if they're going to put such a true story out into question, right?
Right. Well, there's a sort of footnote here that, based on a true story, but also disclaimer, there might be some dramatization. Like, we don't expect it to be a narrative of 100% accuracy of somebody's life, right? There's going to be some embellishment, but the question is going to be, is the crux of it accurate? Particularly some of the allegations of like sexual misconduct, sexual assault, criminal harassment, criminal stalking. I mean, those are heavy-handed things. Not every word of it may need to be accurate, and oftentimes doesn't need to be accurate, but the crux of it, is it accurate? And I think the internet's saying it is. Frankly, I don't know, not to get ahead of myself, but I don't know that this interview on Piers Morgan was a smart thing for her to do.
Well, that's where I want to get to. So you say Netflix is in the clear. They've done their due diligence. This is a true enough story. They must have done enough with their legal to feel confident in true story with some dramatic, adjustments. Now, Fiona is saying she's going to sue the real woman behind it, who's saying she is the real life Martha. In doing this interview with Piers Morgan, though, as we detailed in our own video, A lot of a lot of problems and contradictions. Her own contradictions really kind of kill her in a way. There's literally a part, as we did. If you missed our video, go check it out over here where I broke it all down. There's literally a part in there where she admits, I'm not the real life Martha. Yeah, that can't be me. I can't be the real life Martha. While then later admitting, well, you know, the baby reindeer story is true, which only encourages that the story Richard Gadd is telling must be true. How else would he have known that story? Does this kill the case?
Dude, if whoever her lawyer is or is going to be, run as fast as you can, as far as you can. Bad client. Okay. Pierce Morgan is a great interviewer. I wouldn't consider this to be a deposition, but if it was, her case is already done. It's dead on arrival. So, like, it's the funniest thing, man. I'm watching this and I'm like, you are going to get destroyed. If this case gets into discovery, never mind discovery. I mean, when you file your complaint, people are going to start debunking it right off the bat. I mean, this show is hugely popular. It's had over 50 or 60 million views in less than a month. There's literally a UK Parliament hearing on the allegations of not being protected enough. And then she does this interview where you swear she's bipolar. I mean, she's contradicting herself. You did an excellent job in your video, which I would encourage everyone to watch, where within a span of 10 minutes, she said black is white and white is black.
It's weird. I mean, I feel actually sorry for this woman. She needs help. Like, and she's been thrusted in now this public sphere in a way. I mean, because of her own actions, seemingly, based on the way it's coming across. It seems to be true. All of it seems to be true. Is there any defense she has here by being thrusted in this spotlight? Even if some of it's not accurate, does she have any bearings whatsoever for a defamation case?
Well, it's interesting because victims, you know, we have to look at obviously the evidence and determine what's truthful, because truth is a defense. Right. So if Donnie, right, the character Donnie is telling the story and saying these things happen and the crux of it is true, it's an absolute defense to defamation. It doesn't have to be painstakingly accurate. Now, the question is going to be, would he have some privacy claim, or would she have a privacy claim as the statements he disclosed in the movie? And that may come down to whether she was readily identifiable, because it can't be a privacy claim if nobody knows who you're talking about. Right. Or there wasn't a reasonable there weren't reasonable precautions taken. And this is where it gets interesting because, like I mentioned, the UK Parliament had a hearing on this, and they brought out Netflix, brought out Benjamin King, their chief policy officer, who literally, to quote him on the standard of care issue, basically said, look, the production company and Netflix took every reasonable precaution in disguising the real life IDs of people involved in this story. I tend to believe that. Clerkenwell Films is the production company. Again, hindsight's 2020, but Scottish National Parliament people feel totally different. It's no surprise she's of Scottish origin, if I'm not mistaken. She's a Scottish national. But their MP, who sits on sort of the sports and entertainment committee, basically threw Netflix and production company under the bus and saying, you guys didn't do squat to prevent her from being identified online.
Well, and so I want to put, sorry, but I want to talk about this one specifically because I know you haven't seen the show yet, but the show smartly, I think, shows it in a text or an email. This, my curtains need hung. It's a big part of the show because he's sort of
that's what I hear.
To flirt back in front of his friends. He feels like, oh, I'm just gonna, I hang my curtains, and then she hears it and she's like, finally, I've got him. And then she is constantly, I'm ready for you to hang my curtains. When are you gonna come hang my curtains? Come hang my curtains. It's really hard to watch and it's crazy. But now this tweet, Mr. Richard Gadd, my curtains need hung badly, is out there. Now she claims this account she has no longer access to, so she couldn't delete it. It is from 2014. Netflix didn't show it as a tweet. Netflix never gave her real name. This account by Richard Gadd has been deactivated, but clearly they knew it was out there. Do you think this was clever? Like, you know what? If they find it, they find it. It's only going to help our show. It's not our fault that she posted this. We did our due diligence to misdirect them by saying it was an email. We didn't show her name. Do you think this is maybe a version of Netflix being grateful that she didn't have access to delete her own account, and that's her problem since it's a public tweet? Or could this be used as, no, Netflix, you let people find her, therefore you're responsible?
Well, I would query in the latter part of your comment, what are they responsible for? Like, what did they do? If this is in fact, I mean, when I first saw that tweet, I thought it was somebody faking it. Like somebody created a Jane Doe account and just named it Fiona Harvey. But she's not contesting that that's her account, right? Do we have
Correct.
our
She
facts
confirmed
right?
on Pierce Morgan that was her account.
Okay, so she's putting this out in the universe, okay, 10 years ago, thinking nothing's going to come out of this. She's clearly obsessed with this guy. She's clearly saying very sexually charged things. What does she think's going to happen? Like, there is no privacy claim. It's a public tweet. If this was stuff that was said in private text messages, maybe, just maybe, right? Maybe there's some sort of privacy thing. But again, when there are victims of assault, right? What Donnie claims, he's a victim of assault, he's a victim of stalking. You can't silence victims, and that's what Netflix and the production company's position is. And I think it's a great position, which is, we're going to tell the story for all these other guys out there who've been, abused, harassed, stalked, assaulted, etc. And Andy, the irony of this whole thing is that she then went to the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp victimization
She
card.
called herself
right?
Johnny Depp. She did in our
She
first
called-
video. Yeah, yep.
So I cannot help but laugh. I don't want to marginalize people being stalked and getting death threats, which is what she's claiming is happening. But I also have to give a lot of weight to this guy who clearly, from what we can see, as far as the facts go, clearly had a serious problem on his hands.
Yeah, well, she is a lawyer, so maybe she'll try to rep herself. But either way, I think your advice is saying any lawyer who's contemplating this, and I don't think any are. She's a lot of talk on that show, and she was in the show and on the Pierce Morgan interview. I think they will steer clear of this case, and I don't think she has the money to pay for it. So I don't expect this to go anywhere. She swears up and down she will, and I'm kind of hoping she does, because I'd love to see where it goes and really get the definitive. But I think we know the truth here. Either way, always a pleasure to have you, Raees. Go check out Beard Lawyer on Instagram. You can also find him over on YouTube, beard.lawyer on YouTube. Always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for making the time. We got lots more coming. What do you guys think? Do you disagree? Do you think she has a case? Do you think she'd win? Before you comment, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash that thumbs up as well, and leave us your comments. Did all this controversy and all these interviews make you watch the show? Did it help Netflix in the show? Also, let us know your thoughts as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got lots more coming this week, so stay tuned, and we'll deliver it for you.